Our next presenter is Dr. Xiaofang Wei. She is currently a research scientist on microbial enhanced soil recovery in the State Key Laboratory of Enhanced Soil Recovery Research Institute of Petroleum Exploration and Development in PetroChina. She received her bachelor's degree from Beijing Institute of Petrochemical Technology and her PhD degree from China University of Petroleum. She studied and worked in CSIRO Petroleum or Microbial Enhanced Soil Recovery Research, and prior his PhD research, Xiaofang worked in the Baoding Petroleum Refinery of Sinopec as an engineer for 10 years. Thank you very much for your presentation, Dr. Xiaofang Wei.
Hello, everyone. My name is Xiaofang Wei. I prefer to be called Fiona. I'm from PetroChina, and today it's my great pleasure to make my presentation here. Thanks for your attention. My presentation title is Study and Application Progress on the Biopolymers Applied in EOR Technology. My presentation includes 4 parts. At first, I will give a brief introduction of biopolymers, and then we will talk about the study progress on the biopolymers applied in EOR technology. Then I will give a case. We will talk about the case study of biopolymers applied in the EOR technology, especially the case study in China. At last, we will draw all conclusions and give some advices on the future work. Then we will begin the first part, the introduction of biopolymers. Biopolymers are polymers produced by living organisms. They contain monomeric units that are covalently bonded to form a larger structure. That means biopolymer is a kind of resource with diversity, sustainability, environmental friendliness. Biopolymers also could be called macropolysaccharide, could be divided into capsule polysaccharide, to be shortened to CPS, and extra polysaccharide could be shortened to EPS, which was produced by bacteria or fungi. Only a few kinds of EPS could be divided into biological products for commercial. And this slide shows us how the EPS was produced, and such as the bacteria, fungi, macroorganisms, and extra mouthful, and maybe some mixed microbial consortia. And also, what kind of food does the bacteria likes, such as the glues and maybe some kind of other nutrient source. And also the culture mode was also shown here. Then we will get maybe a lot of kind of EPS here. Actually, biopolymers is widely used in food industry, daily chemical production, oil field development, building industry, healthcare, and so on. Especially in the petroleum industry, the biopolymers could be used as a drilling fluid additives, fracturing fluid additive, cementing fluid additive, flooding agent, plugging agent, profile control agent, and so on. Then we will talk about 3 kinds of biopolymers applied in EOR technology. They are southern gum, William gum, scalar glucan. Then let's talk about my second part, the study progress on biopolymers applied in EOR technology. At first, we talk about sudden gam. Sudden gam is a kind of anionic APS produced by Xanthonomus capetraceus. I'm sorry for the pronunciation for this kind of bacteria. I'm not sure it's right or not. This kind of bacteria is gram-negative aerobic bacteria, and the shape of the single colonies is round. Color is yellow. Texture is thick. Sudden gum is a biopolymer with a wide range of applications, special for petroleum industry. And the experiment data show us the sudden gam's temperature tolerance is very good, but it's different in different water systems. Just like the picture show that the temperature tolerance is up to 147 centigrade in the saturated saltwater, but it is up to 124 centigrade in the mineralized water system, and it is 125 in the seawater. Maybe the mineralized water system a little bit similar to the seawater. Then we talk about the VLAN gum. The result of the temperature tolerance test of VLAN gum is very good. The temperature is up to 140 centigrade. And the co-flooding data is also show that the EOR ratio could increase by 6% at temperature of 120 centigrade with injection of 1.5 PV. It is quite exciting, right? And last, we talk about the polymer of scalar glucan. Scalar glucan is kind of non-ionic APS produced by scalar term. Oh, is also another hard word for the bacteria. It is a good thickening agent that heat and salinity tolerance and shear resistance. And the experiment data also show it is a good candidate for the EOR technology. Here, we give some case study of biopolymer applied in EOR technology. At first, we show you guys the case study of sandem gum applied in China. The first one is the Xiaofang Reservoir, Yumen, China. It is a kind of pellet. The sandem gum content was 1,215 ppm, and the average viscosity was 24. Then we got a good result that the incremental oil was 248 tons with average daily injection of 1 ton dry powder. And the daily oil production increased from 15.3 ton to 80.6 ton with flooding mode of 3 injectors and 80 producer. Then the water cut decreased from 80% to 74%. And the second one is the Shenzhen Hu 7 Zhongyuan oil field, China. This is also a pellet, and the achieved EOR ratio was 5.3%. The third is Gudong 7 Shengli oil field, China. This is also another pellet, The water cut decreased from 97% to 91%, while the daily oil production increased from 22 tons to 45 tons. The net incremental oil is 8,764 tons in 7 months. And the fourth is Tianpu 3, Zhongyuan oil field, China. And this technology is a kind of biopolymer binary system. And we couldn't get the published data of the EOR result. And that last one is a data from laboratory. It's very exciting. The experiment was carried out in Hade oil field, Taiwan, China. 8 types of biopolymers were modified to improve their heat and salinity tolerance. The modified biopolymers heat and salinity tolerance is 130 centigrade and 215 ppm, respectively. According to the case study here, shown on the slide, we realize that the biopolymers have been used in binary or tertiary compounds flooding as additives in the chemical flooding, such as the biopolymers plus chemical surfactants or alkali surfactants plus biopolymers. It's kind of a great change for the EOR technology. Here, I also collect a field case study of Sandagam in our site, but it is not pinpoint in my slide. According to the reference, I checked that I also got another information that case study of biopolymers-based laboratory focused on coal flooding experiments, and the temperature and the salinity tolerance is also the key part of the study, and the biodegradation resistance is another important factor in the study. Actually, there are a lot of problems in the biopolymer technology because the biopolymer is not stable for a long time, and maybe a single product could not match reservoir temperature and salinity at the same time. So we need more pilot to be carried out to collect more data for our research. At last, we draw our conclusion and give some advices on the future work. According to the information from the slide, we realized that in 1990s, the mechanisms are focused on profile control and plugging. Recently, the research strategy have been widened and the main mechanism altered to swap efficiency improvement. And this is based on the cost effective of the biopolymer and the biopolymer specification of good temperature and salinity tolerance. Anyway, it is great news that the pellet recovery factor has shown a great increase in application results. According to the research history that we realize it is very necessary to build evaluation method of biopolymers applied in EOR technology And we try our best to decrease the cost of biopolymers and modify the specification of biopolymers, such as temperature and salinity tolerance. And the most important is that we should develop an EOR strategy in oil field based on the characteristics of biopolymers. Thank you. Thank you for your attention. Anyway, the biopolymers technology applied in enhanced oil recovery will be the promising technology. Thank you.